devotees had a Radharani made of solid gold. One of the reasons why in India and many temples they don't use real jewelry and things, because as nice as it may be, there's another section who get inspired with ideas of theft. So anyway, and there's a sloka, Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Tapta Kanchana Gaurange. Kanchana means gold. So the rumor spread in the local, there was some golden Radharani there, solid gold they made Radharani. And some disruption amongst the local people. But at some point, there was an attack. And one of the leading devotees, he responded forcefully. And then local people accused the devotees, the Mayapur devotees, of not following Mahaprabhu's teachings. Trinadapi sunichena tororapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. You should be humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, offer all respect to others, expect none for yourselves. In this way you can go on. Kirtaniya sadahari. So he said, they answered with such force as to violate the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Dev. But Guru Maharaj said, no, I gave them support. He said, Trinadapi sunichena, for who? He said, you come to molest the deity, the Vaishnava, and I am supposed to be humble as a blade of grass? No. Then to protect the deity and the Vaishnava, we will respond like fire. For them, on their behalf. Right? When the conquering Digbijay Pandit, he approaches Rupa Goswami, who's writing like Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, his books, and wants to debate him. He's going around defeating people, collecting their signatures. I've been defeated by him. It's good for his business, his brand. And Rupa Goswami went, oh, no debate necessary. Where should I sign? Here, sign. And he goes off happily. And same thing with Sanatana Goswami. Where should I sign? Here, right. But when he approaches Jiva Goswami and said, you might as well just sign, I already have the signatures of Rupa and Sanatan, your gurus. And Jiva Goswami, no, I don't believe that. No, I have them right here, show me. So he tears that paper up and said, you must defeat me. I'm their humble, aspiring servitor. You must defeat me. And Jiva Goswami annihilates that person. Then again, another group, oh, he's not showing the type of humility that we see and say, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, Jagai Madhai Hoite Murise Papishta, Puri Sherakita Hoite Murise Lagishta. I'm more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, I'm lower than the worm in the stool. If you hear my name, you'll lose your pious credits. If you take my name, you'll fall down. Right? And here, look how he's not showing that type of humility, but they think it is some ego, some mundane abhiman. But rather, we should see that Jiva Goswami is willing to sacrifice his reputation as a humble Vaishnava to defend the dignity of his Guru Varga, namely Rupa and Sanatan. That's different. That's not on his behalf, it's for them. As we see with such ferocity, Srila Saraswati Thakur defending the line. Even when he was a child, at school, and we can imagine, or try to imagine. So much so, like, the teachers give a report and Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, "I'm worried about you," and how you're going to get on later in life. And the Guru said, Saraswati Thakur said, "No, don't worry about me, I'll manage." But he thought, he can't tolerate, Upasiddhanta. His very name became Bhakti Siddhanta, Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So Upasiddhanta is intolerable to him, as it was to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, who's so merciful, right? The most magnanimous incarnation, avatar. Rupa Goswami says, "Namo Mahavaranaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namah." He's distributing Krishna Prem. Right? He's so merciful. But that person who is the most magnanimous in the distribution of Krishna Prem cannot tolerate Upasiddhanta. Right, that which is against the proper understanding of Krishna consciousness. And to what degree? That it will make him angry. Right? Therefore, when somebody, however well-intentioned, had composed something, it had to first pass the Swarup Damodar test. Mahaprabhu Ditiya Kalevar, Swarup Damodar. He's Mahaprabhu the second, Mahaprabhu's other self. Right? And what it tells us also is that position, because this is going to annoy Swarup Damodar also, but he'll take that on his head, not to disturb the sentiments of Mahaprabhu. We see that. Srivas Thakur does not want to disturb the sentiments of Mahaprabhu. And I've mentioned at various times, Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sudhir Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, he took that role, played that part on behalf of Guru Maharaj, that things should not go reach him that would disturb his fine sentiments. It may disturb him, but he's willing to take that on his head, but not to disturb the higher section. Pujala Raghavat Gaurava Bange Matala Sarujana Vishairange, consistent with the motto of Srila Saraswati Thakur, the operating motto of Sri Gaudiya Math. So it's how we conceive ourselves and how we conceive the genuine Vaishnavas. So Shikshastakam, Mahaprabhu, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari, Bhavatad Bhakti Rahoitaki Twai. I am surrounded by karmic circumstances, and certainly it will lead to one life after another of such things. But let me have connection, association, service with genuine devotees. That is our concern. And when, again, Srila Guru Maharaj once, it's hard to believe, but true, that some were threatening him, and not only once, at different times. Once someone wanted to oust Guru Maharaj from the Chaitanya Saraswat Math. And if necessary, by force, with violence. And he went to Srila Keshava Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshava Maharaj, and told him his plan. And he didn't know the type of genuine reverence Srila Keshava Maharaj had for Srila Guru Maharaj, who was his sannyas guru, and more than that. And so Keshava Maharaj said to him, like, how serious are you about this? And he said, I am so serious, I'm prepared to give my head. And Keshava Maharaj said, good, I'll be there to take it. Not on his behalf, on the behalf of whom he considered Guru, the superior Vaishnava. Another time, later on, when someone, again, threatening Guru Maharaj, not just with words, but with implied violence. Guru Maharaj said, my only aspiration is to be in the dust of the feet of Ramananda Roy. Right? On this particular occasion, he said it like that. He said, that is the plane I'm interested in and sheltered in. He said, what harm can they do to me? So my belief is we'll always be best served, in this sense, to use the word in this sense, by taking shelter of the vision of Mahabhagavatas. Believe in that. Take shelter there. Once, at a juncture in my life where I had to make a very important decision, a life-altering decision. And really it was about taking exclusive shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj and leaving my former position. And I'm at the mat with Guru Maharaj and hearing everything, and this one Bengali devotee told me, there is this seer, S-E-E-R, a seer, like mystic, in Swarupganj, and I think you should consult with him. So somehow or other, this inauspicious event took place. We're going across the Ganga, and you get there. At least the good part was that at one point I had to wait alone on a rickshaw in Swarupganj and became overwhelmed by that divine environment. That was the good part. But then finally he arranges for this meeting, and this person sitting beneath a picture of Ma Kali, a giant picture of Ma Kali with like betel nut red lips, smoking a cigarette sticking out of his fist like that, going, and giving advice. Right. So after that was done, maybe we bathed in the Ganga on the way back. But then the next time I saw Guru Maharaj, one thing we should know, Sridharam Sakalam Veti. Guru Maharaj knows everything. So he knew all about this. Right? But he didn't talk about it directly. But he said, in this next meeting I had with him, he began with the line that says, Mahajano yena kata sapanta. We should follow the path of the Mahajans. We hear from them, and then we make a course of action. That always will be true. Right? Mahajano yena gata sapanta. Follow the path of the Mahajans and what their advice is. Right? And in retrospect, I reflected upon it in this way, perhaps some years later, was that, let's just say in principle, because it's kind of like a binary decision, yes or no. And let's say that what Guru Maharaj told me, in principle, that person was also in principle suggesting, in principle. So what I thought about is that had I taken the advice of that person, which is the same, for the sake of this argument, it's the same advice, do this, then I'm moving under the influence of that person. You understand? Now, I'm doing the same things, but I have a false shelter, and false, bad guidance. It's the same thing, but one is faithless. It's a faithless movement on my part, under, durasaya, means a false shelter. Whereas when I'm following the advice of Guru Maharaj, I'm fully sheltered. Right? Because it's an act of faith, as opposed to mundane calculation. And we're interested in faith, not mundane calculation, which we can shorten to calculation. Right. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is among many things, arguably the greatest astrologer of his time. So he would make his calendar and his calculations. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not an astrologer. Right? And he's following the Panjika, or the calendar of P.N. Bakshi. Right? So sometimes the calculation of P.N. Bakshi was not the same as Saraswati Thakur. But Saraswati Thakur, ever faithful to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and not wanting to even remotely or, in any way imaginable differ with him, would defer to what was, say, a lesser or less accurate calculation than his own, because he wanted to be in agreement with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Guru Maharaj uses this as an example of the culture of faith over calculation. Right? Always we have a tendency to calculate the environment. Right? But we're trying to move in the plane of faith, and so that's a different consideration. Ideally, they're seamless. Sometimes not. We should be aware when they're not, and not try and impose the lower thing upon the higher, which we're told is not the culture of faith proper, but rather karma kanda. Karma kanda is when the lower imposes its will upon the higher, as opposed to the reverse. We're interested, as one literary critic says, to be inspired is to be influenced. Tene Brahma got inspiration, but Saraswati's giving something, Krishna's giving something. To be inspired is to be influenced by another. So the inspiration we seek is achieved in being under the influence of Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, and Vaishnav. Mahajano yenagata sapanta. That is the only advice I can give in good faith. Yes, anything else?
Yes, Maharaj. Question from Dan Escobar, our online viewer. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please tell me, my insults led me to a bad place. In my heart I repent. Do I have a chance for pardon? How can I get out of this? Thanks.
His insults to whom? Oh, you mean in general?
Mentioned.
Well, we're told in the case of Vaishnava aparad, like Vrindavan Das Thakur, where the thorn entered, that's where it has to be removed. Right? So we fall at the feet of the offended Vaishnava, and with not making a show, but with sincere heart repentance, ask their forgiveness. When Srila Guru Maharaj was insulted once, and first of all, I wrote something in his favor, which generally became known as the 17-page paper. And Guru Maharaj listened to every word of it and said, I'm fully and properly represented there. Right? And it later was edited to form a pamphlet called The Guardian of Devotion. Right? But in response to that, some chose the path to insult Guru Maharaj. And that was read to him. And at the end of it, he said, is that all? He said, is that all they could find wrong with me? He said, it is rather a glorification. Like I could do a better job than that. So that's the nature of the Vaishnavas. The person who's committing the aparat should feel heartfelt repentance and fall at their feet and beg forgiveness. But what do we say every day? Vancha kalpa tribhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. The Vaishnavas are kripa sindhu, an ocean of mercy. Right? Still, it is up to them. Right? You cannot exempt yourself, absolve yourself. Have to go to the Vaishnava. Right? And we find this in the 9th canto, in the pastimes of Maharaj Ambarish and Durvasa Muni. Ambarish Maharaj was such an ideal king that normally, like kings, they do the work of the state or the country, the kingdom, and they hire or have on staff some Brahmins to do the religious activities. Right? In the case of Ambarish Maharaj, he reversed that. Right? So he had them running the kingdom, and he did all the religious activities. And it's mentioned, what does it say? Savai mana Krishna padara vindeo vacham sivai kunta gunarna varnane koro harer maniran marjana dishu shrutim chakara satkatodaya mukundalingalaya darshanadarsho, etc. Saying his mind, Savai mana Krishna padara vindeo, his mind was totally fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanuvarna. And only Hari Katha and Krishna Katha came from his lips. And he did, he cleaned the temple. He worshiped Mukundalingalaya Darshani. He was always taking darshan of the deity, one after another after another. These are the things that Ambarish Maharaj did. And he let others do the business of running the kingdom. So he's not only faultless, but super exalted. And the time of Ekadashi had come, and he is observing by fasting, not even taking water. And then the Dwadashi that follows the Ekadashi comes. And just as a footnote, we sing the glories of Ekadashi, and necessarily so. And that is an opportunity, like a bargain or a special sale, that notion like on this day you'll get more, right? For less, in a sense. Right? So, and you think, well, that's a wonderful opportunity. It comes, twice in a month, And there's a particular way you observe it, right? By fasting and varying degrees. But also, Dwadashi is a holy day. And think of this, how do you observe Dwadashi? What's required of you on Dwadashi? Is to break fast, right? Maybe take a grain. Right? How merciful is that? For this, the day before the observance was this fasting. All right, here's another holy day. How do you observe it? By taking a little, a grain of prasadam, and then your observance will be complete. Right? So that time had come, and Durvasa Muni is coming, and normally it would be inappropriate for Ambarish Maharaj to take something before such a great Muni and Rishi. But so perplexed, he decided he'll take a drop of water to break his fast. One drop of water. Right? And Durvasa was incensed and outraged. He's what Srila Govinda Maharaj would call an angry man. But he does this repeatedly, so you can understand it's a role that he plays. He's always getting upset about things. And we've seen there's certain types of renunciates who are, I'm not saying they're on the level of Durvasa Muni, but they have some similar qualities and characteristics, or they think it's part of the territory to be like that. They may be mistaken. But anyway, so Durvasa Muni, he's insulted by this behavior of Ambarish. He took like a drop of water. So he wants really to abuse Ambarish Maharaj. And this is intolerable to the Lord, that we will abuse his devotees. So the Sudarshan chakra arrives, spinning, ready to get Vedic on Durvasa. And so Durvasa Muni, he starts running and he's thinking, I'll take shelter of Brahma. He'll certainly say, Brahma, I can't help you. Oh, then I'll go to Mahadev Shiva. No, I can't help you. His Sudarshan spinning, coming. Durvasa is going, Vishnu, I can't help you. You can't help me? No, I can't help you either. Then what can I do? You have to go and fall at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Even I cannot help you. The Lord cannot help you. Mahaprabhu won't help you. Right? You have to fall at the feet of that Vaishnava with genuine remorse, not a show. And at last, Durvasa returns to Ambarish Maharaj to beg his forgiveness. And Ambarish Maharaj, his mood is like, forgive me for all the inconvenience I've caused you. And there's this verse there, Aho Ananta Dasanam, etc. We're saying, look at the devotees of the Lord, how merciful they are. So, Dostoevsky says in one place that humiliation is one of the most intense forms of consciousness. Right? When we're humiliated, we're very self-aware in those moments. So it's not a bad thing. And falling at the feet of a Vaishnava is a good thing. Right? Whatever the reason. We hear of the great devotees. I always find it interesting when they'll say, you know, Raghunath Das Goswami or others, you know, they're in Radha Kunda or wherever they are, and they're chanting so many lakhs of Krishna Nam, giving thousands of dandavats daily to the Vaishnavas. Right? The great devotee Kalidas, right? He had so much faith in the Vaishnavas, of all degrees that were, he would arrange to take their remnants. And if they were not agreeable to that, he would hide and secretly take their remnants. Because who is it? Jaru Thakur, he brought him some mangoes with the intention of getting them, and Jaru Thakur, it's very awkward for him. His wife, Prabhu, please. You know. Then Kalidas, he's hiding outside. Then they prepare the mangoes, Jaru Thakur takes them. Then what's left over, the seed, they put in like a leaf plate, and they go and they have a place where they throw it outside. They throw it there. Then Kalidas is coming. And he's like, and you know, don't try this at home. Right? To imitate the Mahabhagavata is a mockery to go down. But he's demonstrating a principle. But faith, that we're told these three things have extraordinary power. The dust from the feet of the Vaishnava, the remnants of the Vaishnava, and water that has washed the feet of the Vaishnava. It requires great faith to believe those things, to embrace this within the deep heart's core. But Kalidas was for real with him. This was not some game, although we're told sometimes he would throw dice, and when he was throwing the dice, he'd go like, Hare Krishna! You know? Don't try this at home. But that's why these raga bhaktas, they can only be observed, they cannot be imitated. Right? As Emerson says, imitation is suicide. We need to, from our own position, gradually, modestly make progress. But that Kalidas, to underscore the substance of what was going on in his heart, his motivation, his heart's motive behind these activities, he's certified by no less than Mahaprabhu himself. As we're told, when Mahaprabhu would go for Jagannath Darshan, he would wash his feet in a particular place before entering, and he forbade anyone to take that water. He knew that was like, he would forbid that from happening. What did Gurudev always say with Trivikramas? Pad Devina? Pai, huh? Yeah, like don't touch the feet. Because in India, everyone, it shows their sanskar that they know this principle. So if they don't know anything else, they want to touch the feet. They want to get dust from the feet of a Vaishnava. They may not stay to listen or do any other thing, but that they want to do. When they come up this thing and they go for the darshan, they want to go for the feet. And they have no, compunction about doing that. Just you have to, beat them away practically. And so Trivikrama, he'd have to sit there and tell them not to do that. So Mahaprabhu, Gurudev, he's only allowing with his affectionate devotees, really, and small circle. But Mahaprabhu forbade that. But we're told some advanced devotees, they figure out some ways around that. But in the case of Kalidas, he comes, and what does he do? He's pouring water on the feet of Mahaprabhu, like the ones of feet, and holding underneath to get that water, and he drinks it. So Mahaprabhu like, all right, But then he does it again. Right? Okay, And then he does it again. And Mahaprabhu, all right, that's enough. He's just going to keep doing it. And Mahaprabhu said, all right, stop. So, the hallmark of progressive devotion is to appreciate devotion in others. We're told this is the lack of qualification of a Kanishta Bhagavat is to not have proper appreciation for the devotees. They may revere the deities, the holy places, but they have not understood the position of the devotee, who within Krishna conception is equal to or more than Krishna. Tasmai deyam tato grajam sab pujo cha yatayaham. Krishna is saying, they're equally as worshipable as I. Why more? Because it's through them that you get Krishna connection. Right? Mad bhakta puja abhyadika. Again in the 11th canto. My devotees, their worship takes precedence over my worship. Right? Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat paratanam devi tadiyanam samarjanam. When Parvati asked Mahadev Shiv, what is the highest type of worship? He said, Vishnu aradhanam param. The worship of Vishnu is the highest. And she's like, but I'm worshiping you. Am I doing a lower thing? A lesser thing? Tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarjanam. But to worship what is dear to him is best, better, best. And then she thought, oh, then you're Vaishnavanam Yatashama, you're very dear to the Lord, and I'm worshiping you, then everything's all right. So in Krishna conception, Krishna is worshipped along with his devotees. It's declared in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Mat saranam satam, Dharmat prodita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam. Nirmat sarja, actually, nirmat sarja. Nirmat saranam satam. Do not be envious of the devotee. Right? But that's a negative. What is its conversely means to praise the devotees, to sing the praises of the devotees, and not in some meaningless, rote sort of flattery, but something heartfelt, based upon what we can actually observe. When Guru Maharaj mentioned 2 disciples of Saraswati Thakur who did not get along. Apparently that happens. Right? So in an open assembly, he asked each one to praise the other. And it put them in an awkward position. And Guru Maharaj said, so to praise each other, they had to look to the Swarup, meaning their servitor identity. And then they could offer some praise. But the superficial aspect is where they were, there's the rub. That's where there was some conflict. But by looking deeper, then they began to say, oh, dear to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is pleased with them, then there's something substantial there. So really, the key to Krishna consciousness, a progressive position in Krishna consciousness, is to appreciate the devotion of others. Right? It's not just how do you say, ancillary, what's the word? Auxiliary, or peripheral. It's central to the culture of Krishna consciousness, is to appreciate the devotion in other devotees. It's at the heart of the matter, right? Because it's in the heart of Krishna. Ahang bhakta paradino hyasvan tantra eva dvija sarubir bhakta hridayo bhakta bhakta janapriya. Saying, although in that Bhagavatam, in the same section in the beginning says, I've been declared as Swarat, completely independent. Said, but, that's true, but in the presence of devotion, it's as if I lose my independence. The infinite comes under the control of the finite. When Rupa Goswami is describing the qualities and characteristics of pure devotion, it says, Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa. The word Karshan, Krishna, it means like magnetic attraction, being irresistibly drawn in attraction. But saying, Sri Krishna Karshini Chasa. It attracts Krishna. We're told, Prabhupada like to say, Krishna is all attractive. But all attractive Krishna is attracted to the devotion and the heart of a devotee. And we can say, well, any amount, right? It's such a valuable substance. A drop of that substance is capable of enchanting Krishna. Right? When Guru Maharaj was speaking about the Bhav Ankur, as described by Rupa Goswami, Bhava Bhakti, and this where the Bhakti Lata Bij was planted, then it's growing, developing. At this point, it's blossoming. It's sprouting, blossoming. And he said, at that point, that devotion, in a comparative metaphorical sense, he said, it's like a flower that's starting to yield a fragrance, a unique fragrance. And just like we find ourselves, we smell some flower and the fragrance, it captures you. Right? So we're saying, the fragrance of that devotion and the heart of that devotee captures Krishna. That's inconceivable. And we would think, no, that is in the case of super servitors, and certainly so. If this principle is true, beginning, middle, and end, then we can only imagine the level of attachment that Krishna has to the super servitors. But as I've thought about this a lot lately, that what do we have to offer? We have everything to gain, but what do we have to offer? Tiny, finite jiva souls. How could it make a difference? He is surrounded by the super servitors and the innumerable devotees of the spiritual world. What could you possibly have to offer? Well, Rupa Goswami is telling us this substance is so powerful that it can enchant Krishna Bhakti. And so we see even those who are newly recruited and gradually progress to a particular position, when under the influence of the Asraya Vigraha and the super servitors and their assistant, when it comes down to under the influence, the inspiration descends on their heart, and what they express is something new, right? In that sense, it's adding something, right? It's a genuine contribution, and what is being added is something that is enchanting to Krishna. And just for an example, I don't like to portray Srila Guru Maharaj in anything less than a Nitya Siddha descended soul, but just for our edification. Right? Rupa Goswami, he writes in his Chaitanyastakam, Raso Dhamma Kamar Buddha Madhura Dhammojula Tanur Jati Namutangshas Taranik Vidyoti Basana Hiranyanam Lakshmi Varan Abhivavan Angika Rucha Sat Chaitanya Kame Drishur Yashati Padam Kame Punar Api Drishur Yashati Padam. Rupa Goswami is talking about what he saw with his Rupa eyes of Mahaprabhu. And he's saying, Raso Dhamma Kamar Buddha Madhura Dhammojula. How beautiful and radiant and charming is the divine form, the sweetness of the form of Mahaprabhu. If 10 million Cupids assembled as one. Right? No, he is writing like that. And it's very beautiful that, and the Chaitanya, and not only he wrote one, he wrote three astakams. Right? So, that line. So then you have Srila Guru Maharaj, and let's just say for the example, he offers himself to Srila Saraswati Thakur. He's under the influence of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, and this sort of inspiration descends in his heart. And what does he say? Koti kami murchi tangri rupa rasa rangaram prema dhamma deva meva nomi gaura sundaram. This didn't exist before. In one sense, we can say, oh, it's in the eternal. Yes, we can adjust everything in that way. But for the sake of this discussion, this was not yet. Right? And it came from the heart of Srila Guru Maharaj. And when he would say to Babaji Maharaj, why are you singing my songs and my slokas, and why are you doing that? And Babaji, because he popularized Nikhila Bhuvana Maya and Pranamami Shada Prabhupada Padam and throughout Gaudiya Mat. Okay? He said, why do you do that? And Babaji Maharaj said, because I find the same quality in what comes from you in Srila Rupa Goswami. I have that type of faith. Right? So what does he say in this line? Koti kami murchi tangri rupa rasa rangaram. Right? That 10 million Cupids will faint to see the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's expressing it in a new way. Then you can understand. Here is a servitor entering that plane who makes an irresistible contribution, right? That will capture the attention, the heart of Mahaprabhu, his associates, like that. Right? So why was I saying that? Oh, about appreciating the devotees, devotion in others. So, and Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, is that, in one sense, the Brihad Bhagavatamritam, this is its theme throughout. There's Narad Muni approaching the Shalagram worshipping Brahmin and praising them. Are you not the best devotees? And we see the type of devotion you have, and they're going, oh, Pramod, we're able to do a little something here. But you should see how, King Indradumna or whoever, in South India, the kind of worship they have there, and they use real jewels, And then you go to South India and see that, we're following as best we can, but this doesn't compete with what they do in Puri. You go to Puri, they say, well, this is the best we can do in this world. But in Swarga Loka, Indra with his resources, and Vamandev's his little brother. Right? So superior position there. Then praising, yeah, everything you say is true, but Brahma, he's Atma-bhu, he was born from the Lord himself atop that lotus flower. And what he's capable of doing there far surpasses what we do here. Approaching Brahma, yes, I have some good fortune, the Lord has been kind to me, but I'm so busy managing this universe, I don't have time to do all my rounds. Basically, I'm paraphrasing before someone goes, where does it say that? He's saying, but Mahadev, Shiva, he doesn't have a care in the world. Evidenced by sometimes he's so deeply absorbed in Krishna, sometimes he's just totally naked underneath that 800-mile banyan tree that he sits under. Right? So, and then he's deferring, saying he's in a superior position to me. Narada approaching Shiva. And what does Shiva say at one point? He said, you want to know what sort of a despicable person I am? I wanted to be greater than the Lord. And so you're saying all this praise, but the truth of the matter is, I wanted a position higher than his. You think, oh. And then Sanatana Goswami Prabhu explains, he says, what Shiva means is, what position is higher than Krishna? Devotee. So in an inverted way, I wanted a position, it means I only wanted to serve as Holy Lotus feet, as an aspiring servitor. But he made it sound like it was a bad thing. And he's saying, but, I'm here in this Shivata, Shivaloka, right? Taking that it's, a particular level of Shiva. It's just, Leela presented by Sanatana Goswami Prabhu. Shiva sends him to Hanuman, to Prahlad Maharaj. Because Prahlad, here we would say Jnana Shunya Bhakti, Prahlad Maharaj is where Shuddha Bhakti begins. Nasa Britya Sabai Banik. When Nrsingadev offers Prahlad a boon, he's insulted. His heart is hurt. I didn't worship you to get something from you. That's how we're showing. It's pure devotion. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karma, no ulterior motive. But it's divine pastimes to shine a spotlight on the devotion of Prahlad. So Narada comes praising Prahlad, and Guru Maharaj says, Prahlad says, Gurudev, stop. Actually, the proper disciple does not want praise from the Guru. We all do. But the proper disciple, Saraswati Thakur said, if a sadhu flatters me, he becomes my enemy. Meaning that's not good for me. Right? The superior quality, they would prefer chastisement. Remember, Advaita didn't like the respectful behavior from Mahaprabhu, devised a means to draw his ire and his fire and his chastisement. Then Advaita was happy. He thought, your intimate servitors are chastising them, and I guess I'm not one of them because you're always showing so much respect to me. So he did something that caused him to transgress the etiquette of revering a superior. It was just to get this sort of intense affection from Mahaprabhu. So Prahlad is saying, Gurudev, don't say these things. I'm one of your insignificant, aspiring disciples. Right? And you're offering all this, no. And he said, and by your grace, Smaranam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, he is the icon for Smaranam, is Prahlad, because under all those circumstances, tortured by Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad always, he never forgets his Lord. He's always absorbed in Smaranam. Saying, but that's by your grace. Right? He said, but I have no active service. I rather appreciate the position of Hanuman, how he's serving Ramachandra so wonderfully. Narada goes to Hanuman, and tactfully he's taking Ram Nam, that would make Hanuman, and he's taking Ram Nam, Ram, 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 and he starts praising Hanuman. And Hanuman saying, yes, I had his association, and now here I am in separation. Those days are gone. You know. So, but I've heard that recently he appeared, and currently he is, I mean, he has so many, how do you say, friendly pastimes with the Pandavas. And Narada says, well, then let's go. And Hanuman, no, they wouldn't want to monkey around. That's another Leela and playing for Leela. I would be awkward. But he's on Arjun's flag on the chariot. On Arjun's chariot, Hanuman's on the flag, and when they go into battle, Hanuman is screaming. It's not just an image of Hanuman. He's there, you know. But so in a suppressed position. Then he visits the Pandavas, starts praising them like anything, and Yudhisthira Maharaj in their behalf said, actually, the opposite of what you're saying is true. He said, because when people observe our pastimes, they will conclude that being a devotee means a life of trouble and strife. Right? They won't want to be devotees and say, look at the Pandavas, look at the kind of things that happened to them. Like we know there's some families in India, they won't keep a Mahabharata in their house because they think it means there'll be family quarrel. So Yudhisthira is saying, sadly, I disagree. And Hanuman says, no, what your pastimes show is when the devotee is in trouble, then Krishna will come and save them. That's what we learn from your pastimes. Guaranteed, they can have faith in that. That's what we learn from your pastimes. It's very inspiring to us. Well, but where is the Lord now? He's not with us. He's in Dwaraka with the Yadavas. So he goes to the Yadavas at that Sudharma assembly where Krishna comes through the door every day to preside over the meeting. He's king in Dwaraka. And this particular day, Krishna's not coming. He can't get out of bed. Right? And they're all waiting with restless anticipation. Narada praising them. They say, yeah, we have some good fortune. We see the Lord every day, but he's not here. And who among us is the best? He's on the other side of that door, on the inside, and that's Uddhava. So step by step, Sanatana Goswami is taking us to what Guru Maharaj described in 2 slokas. Natata priyatama atmayonir na shankara na cha sankarshana nasri naivatma cha yatabhavan. Establishing the primacy of Uddhava from no less than Krishna himself. So they're saying, he's on the other side of the door on the inside, but we're out here. He's the intimate one. And Krishna himself says there's no one dear to me, more dear to me than Uddhava. Who's going to argue with that? Right? And what does he find when he enters inside? Why, as we're approaching the Rath Yatra, Krishna, once a year, not only once a year, all the time he's feeling separation from Vrindavan. But once a year, he's overwhelmed by separation from Vrindavan. and it's caused an ecstatic transformation. It's so intense. His arms and legs have entered his body. His head has transformed. His eyes have become very big, and he takes the form of Jagannath. Right? So at this time, Krishna, overhearing Rohini talking to the queens about Vrindavan, he became overwhelmed by separation. Right? And what do we finally, the Brihad Bhagavatamritam has 7 chapters, with this ending, 7 chapters again. What is the culmination? Asamaho chararenu jishamahangshang Vrindavane kimapi gomilatosadinam yaddustajam svajanamarjapatam chahitva bejur mukunda parivim shrutibir vimrigyam. Uddhava, after he's been certified by no less than Krishna himself, saying, my aspiration is to achieve the position of a blade of grass, a creeper, an atomic presence in the soil of Vrindavan. So that Chinmoy soil, Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam, that's embellished by the holy lotus footprints of Srimati Radharani. And there's some of the dust from her holy lotus feet and her servitor group may come upon my head, thereby consecrating my existence. So what do we learn from him? That the Brajagopis are the supreme devotees, and their leader is Srimati Radharani, the supreme devotee of Krishna, the supreme enchantress of Krishna, Madan Mohan Mohini. Right? So this is the secret about praising the devotee. When we learn to properly praise the devotees, if we follow that thread, it will take us to the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and her divine serving group and their assistants. Hare Krishna. Hari Haraya Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namo. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. E Jai Go Jai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha hoite vignanas avishta puran. Echai goshai dharmui tarodas. Kansavara padarenu mora panchagras. Kandera charana sevi bhakta saneva. Janame mor ei avilas. Ei chai go chai jabe braje koi lovas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narotamadan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Sathara Sadashi Srimad Srila Bhakti Sudhir Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiva Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Govindana Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Shri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srilesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimal Abhadut Maharaj Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Haribo, Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
And our traditional Dandavas Maharaj from Tapanandini Didi, US, Purushottam Prabhu, Salt Lake City, Kuladri Prabhu, Russia, Duty Didi.
Kuladri is not in Russia. I don't know why it says that. He's definitely not in Russia. He's in America.
Okay.
See another one.
It isn't. Trust me.
Duty Didi, Australia, Arjun Prabhu, Ukraine, Jai Govinda
What
Prabhu.
name did you say?
Arjun.
In Australia?
In Australia, Duty.
Krishna.
Duty.
Duty.
D-Y-U-T-I.
Right.
Right, so Duty.
Duty.
And what's her full name?
Duty Krishna.
Duty Krishna.
Arjun Prabhu, Ukraine, Jai Govinda Prabhu, Janunandini Didi, Hungary,
I think that's Anu,
Krishna.
Krishna's mother.
Nam Bhikshu Prabhu, New York, Rupa Vilas Prabhu, Philippines, and dear Srila Goswami Maharaj, please accept our humble Dandavat Pranam. We are much...
Who is speaking?
Ajita... no, Vimala Didi, Canada. Krishna Bhaktadas and Vimala Didi, Canada.
Yeah, when you're going to read something like that, you have to tell me first who's saying it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I assume it's the last person. And what did they say?
So they are saying, dear Srila Goswami Maharaj, please accept our humble Dandavat Pranam. We are much inspired and influenced by your divine classes. Hopefully, one day we will be able to fully understand and embrace the affectionate depth of your lectures. We are always in your debt. With much appreciation, sincerely, Krishna Bhaktadas and Vimala Didi, Canada. And from Ajita, Krishnadas hugs everyone. Hugs everyone.
Vancha Kavachudischa Kripa Sindhu Beva Chapatitanam Pavanivya Vaishnava Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.